you will not regret being at ease.
Hello, Wolfpack fans. It's Marcy Bullock with Engineering Pack Pod. Today we're going to have fun. I read that in your bio.
Oh yeah, very serious about fun.
You're serious about fun.
Mm-hmm.
So Craig Prince is here today, and I am excited because the way we met was sitting outside of 321 Coffee on Centennial Campus, and he handed me a Howling Cow chocolate ice cream, and I said, follow me everywhere, delicious. You bring the fun, you bring the happiness to people, and your current role is place-making events specialist.
Yes, perfect.
And you're going to explain what placemaking is in a minute. And you connect people, not wires, even though your degree is in electrical engineering.
Which always surprises people.
So you know how to connect wires. But today in your life, things have evolved and you do more of people connection and you manage emotions instead of voltages. I mean, but I know you can do all four of those things because of your degree.
That's right.
But we would love to have you introduce yourself because that introduction did not do you justice. Tell the listener more about you, who you are, and how you got to where you are today.
So I'm Craig Prince. Thank you for watching and listening. And I have a really cool job. And I am very serious about fun. So whether it's at work or in my personal life where I do a lot of like bringing people together when I can, I get to think a lot about what makes an event fun to attend. How do we get people to connect with each other? How do we convince them to talk or be at ease? A big part of what I do is think about how do we get people outside just to see each other, just to like be amongst one another. I think a big part of having a healthy, happy community is creating a place for connections to happen. You don't have to force them to happen, right? A lot of people hate icebreakers and forced connection. But if you just kind of make like a fertile ground for it, then things blossom. And that's kind of always what my job is.
Your job here on the Centennial campus is to do that. You bring music to the campus, and we will link in our show notes to all the things happening.
Please.
Because a lot of people don't know about the food trucks, and I'm going to ask you to tell more because I know there's the lake and there's performances, and a lot of this is free.
It's all free. Everything's free.
Everything is free.
Everything is free.
Not
for everybody. For everybody.
Everyone is welcome.
Yeah.
All right, so tell about this triangle of placemaking.
Yeah, right. So everybody asks what's placemaking when I say my job title. And they always say, what's placemaking? And I say that placemaking is the intersection of the design of space, community building, and programming. How do you make a place that is comfortable? How can you think about everything from aesthetics to like practical elements like seating and accessibility to community building being who are you inviting, who are you bringing, how are you incentivizing people to interact with each other, and then programming being like what is the actual thing that they are doing in the place. I
love those three parts of the triangle because you are intentional about how you design the space and getting the word out to everyone about the program and making them feel comfortable. Like they deserve to be here. I've walked in spaces where I go, oh my gosh, this is not for me. Like sometimes I'll walk in a coffee shop and I'll just think everyone here is too hip for me. There's no one over the age of 30. I do not belong. And I know that you think about these things when people walk in, how do they feel? And this is such a big university. It is, sometimes I hear from my students, it's like, how do I find out all the things happening? Because
it's hard.
There's a calendar and there's so much going on, but what are they going to want to participate in?
And there's a lot of newsletters and a lot of people doing a lot of things.
Exactly. So your programs, give us a few examples of some of your favorite ones and how you drew the triangle and it was successful.
One of the programs that I started last summer is Centennial Campus Soundbites, which is where we met. And that was really, I think we had a student performer with WKNC's Local Lunch Live. So they happen on Thursdays. Those are student-driven performances on Thursdays at the corner. And I was like, these are really lovely. We should do more of this, but like put it in the courtyard where everybody eats lunch. And so then I partnered with Oak City Music, which everyone should look up and follow. They have like the best music in Raleigh and the Triangle. And so they book 8 weeks of performances, and then we set everything up. So I set up the sound, set up the shade for them, set up some chairs, And it has just been a beautiful incentive for people to like mark the middle of the week as a break, right? So there's always going to be music. There's always going to be food trucks. We've added ice cream as like a thank you. We do ice cream at the end of the performance to like say thank you for staying, thank you for being outside. And also 321 Coffee's right there. So you can get your coffee, you can get a pastry. And the combination of those three elements is definitely designing the space. It was thinking about like, where's the best place for music? How do we put it somewhere where it feels optional and it's not in your face? Because like people eat lunch there all the time. They may not want loud music right in front of them. Like, how can we make this feel ambient, but still active and participatory? How can it be comfortable for the performer? How can it fit all of our needs, like minimizing trip hazards, being easy? So kind of all of those things came into play, like the crazy wind that we have on Centennial, when picking our setup. And then the community building, it's how do we invite people? How do we partner with Oak City to get the message out? And the really cool thing about that is we have people coming who have no affiliation to Centennial Campus, who are just like, I saw this or I heard about this. I wanted to get some food and listen to some music. Some folks bring their kids or friends, and it's been a really nice, consistent way for people to gather.
Love the 321 Coffee venue. And I heard recently that 321 Coffee is at Costco in Raleigh now, and they sold out.
Yeah.
The first
and
week,
they did sell out.
I mean, I don't really drink coffee, but I like the vibe. So I'll have some kombucha. And this event that you mentioned, say the name of it one more time.
Centennial Campus Sound Bites.
Sound Bites. You said midweek, but it's a Thursday.
Wednesdays. At noon.
That makes sense now. Wednesday is the middle of the week.
We do 8 weeks, then we take a little break, and then we do 8 more weeks. Spring, summer, and fall.
So Wednesdays at noon, I didn't know that was a thing, but I happened to be there that day.
Yep.
What are some of the other great things that happen in addition to that event?
So we do free yoga every day around lunchtime. Anyone can come, any general public, on-campus folks, free yoga every single weekday.
Where is that one held?
That one is in the Partners 1 building.
Nice.
On the second floor.
Second floor,
Yeah.
every day at...
Every day at 12:15.
12:15.
Yes.
Okay. Do you have to have a mat, or do they have mats?
They have some mats.
Nice.
It's nice if you bring your own mat because they only have so many, but they usually have enough
They
mats.
have a few extras.
Yeah.
I'm going to check that one out because I work in Fitzwillard Hall and I love yoga.
Yeah.
And
you could walk right over.
For sure.
Yeah.
And most of the yoga studios, I mean, they charge you at least $30 for one class.
Yes.
So who are your teachers for this class? Are they students?
Our head teacher is Macy, and she is just like a full-time yoga instructor. She also does a great job if she can't be there. She has folks that she brings in.
Yeah. Every day at 12:15 at the research...
At Partners 1. Second floor.
Partners 1. Did it
Yes.
used to be in the research building? Or did I
It
imagine
did.
that?
No,
Okay.
it did. Yeah, good for you.
Okay,
It did.
Partners 1. It's
Yeah.
been on my list to do. We've got yoga,
Yoga, sound bites,
soundbite, a
I
very
do
catchy name.
trivia on Thursdays, every other Thursday.
Okay.
And you can get a trophy that we print with the Makerspace. People have told me that those trophies are like the proudest thing in their office. They love the trophies.
So you do trivia in the makerspace every week.
We do it at 321.
It's at
Yes,
321.
but we print them with the Makerspace.
Okay,
The one,
we
yeah.
have to link to this because
Yeah,
everything's at
yeah.
one link, right? We'll see all of the things, the trivia, when it is. Okay.
Yeah.
And that's fun. How many people come to trivia and want this prized possession trophy?
We have some dedicated teams, and then we always get some new folks every week. It's not like a big, huge game. It's usually 5 teams.
Nice.
Of 3 to 6 people.
Okay.
I usually say try to keep it at a team of 5 to be fair, but we're having a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. People get into their trivia.
They get
Oh
really
my
into it.
goodness. All right. Pick, and then we're going to talk more about you and your journey. Pick one more event that stands out to you that you were involved in that you thought really changed people's lives and helped them connect.
So I'm just going to do a broad shout out for our evening concert series, right? Because we do Live at Lake Raleigh, Artist Notes, 919 Day, and Raleigh Wide Open. But the gist is that they are these kind of larger, open, free to the public concerts. They really do invoke a sense of joy and community and relaxation. So Live at Lake Raleigh is closer to the lake, and if you show up, we've got 3 food trucks and an ice cream truck and a big stage. The bands are wonderful. We have a great time picking the bands. And it's just kids running and playing, people, families relaxing on picnic blankets, eating, enjoying themselves. And then Artist Notes is Friday nights. It's a little later. It's less children, more dogs, because you can have dogs at Artist Nose.
I have a dog, and I'm happy to know that. My
Yeah.
Shetland sheepdog doesn't always get along with other dogs, so I may not include Mr. Copa, but yay, you can bring a dog.
Yeah, and I love a Sheltie.
They're so good.
They're so good.
They're little miniature collies. People call them that, but
Yeah.
they're really their own breed.
Yeah.
So, side note. Okay, so you can bring dogs to this event.
You can bring dogs to Artist Notes, yes. Warm, string light, summer evening, very intimate performances, very thoughtful. They're really lovely.
This is the amazing thing, listener. We get no commission if you go to these events, and they are, did we say bold? All caps, underline. Free.
They're free. Everything's free.
I mean, college students are on a budget, and
It's the cheapest date.
It's such a good date. So, students in our college, undergrads, grad students, we know you're stressed out. We know there's so much on your plate, and I'm going to ask you to talk about your experience as an engineering undergrad here. But you might think you hear this and you go, I don't have time to do that, and I have to study, and I have to achieve, and there's so much pressure on me. But I will tell you, the research shows if you get out and start interacting with people, you're happier. I mean, I taught the class Practicing Happiness, and I would always quote this study of a commuter train. And they actually bribed people to talk to other people. And they had a 3-hour commute, and then there was a group that put their earbuds in and said, I don't talk to people, I'm an introvert. And they compared them at the end. And the people that said, that'll be super awkward, I don't want to do it, but yes, I want that gift card, so I will participate in this study, were happier.
Yeah.
So get out and do this.
It changes your experience of life.
Yeah, you meet friends, you connect with people.
Just being around people, honestly, I'm pretty sure they've done studies where just being among other humans, even if you don't engage with them, is good for you.
Yeah.
But engaging with them is even better.
It even is better. So let's talk about your journey from engineering, undergraduate in electrical engineering, to where you are now.
Yes.
Did you feel any of these trepidations about getting out and talking to people?
I've always been a pretty extroverted person. That's always been kind of like a mark of who I am, is sociality. So I started performing poetry in college. That was when I went to a random open mic that I found and ended up finding a new home and a new way of being there. And that started in school, off campus. And that kind of bold leap to do something far away that was different and outside of my normal world. I think that was the first step on this windy path.
And you're a poet. I just have to jump in and say an engineer, a poet, music, art. You're so eclectic. You're a renaissance.
Thanks. I'm an appreciator. I admire other people's abilities quite a bit, and I enjoy creative expression.
And not all the introverts can relate to the fact that that's in your nature, that you like to socialize. But what about the stress part? Can you relate to that piece where students are feeling the pressure to study all the time and not take a break?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. I was a really busy student. Probably too busy. I didn't, when you're younger, you feel like you can do anything and that there won't be major consequences, and you feel like you don't ever have to sleep, and you just pile it on, and then you crash eventually. I hit a major burnout period because I was really stressed all the time, and I carried that stress from school into my adult life, my early adult life, trying to do too many things and feeling like you have to just have the fullest resume possible. And you do pay for it. You really do pay for it. I had a complete burnout year where I stopped functioning as a person.
How did you get through that and to this other side?
Some of it is just time. Taking a break, how you take a break matters, right? So if we're talking therapeutically, it's how do I communicate to my nervous system that it doesn't have to feel like it's in danger all the time.
Yeah.
Right? That's the, I guess, big psychological thing. But I think that I would probably say allowing yourself to change is the biggest part, right? So, hitting that burnout wall and then transitioning to the other side, it wasn't just, I'm not busy and I'm not doing stuff, but it was, I'm allowed to be a different person. I'm allowed to change and transform. Maybe even I'm allowed to do less or be less busy, or these things that were core parts of my identity, organizing a lot of things. Maybe that doesn't need to be a core part of your identity, right? Maybe you
Ooh.
can take a break, and maybe you're not an artist right now, or maybe
Yeah.
you're always an artist even if you're not performing. I think it is just, I associate change a lot with grief, right? And so being willing to grieve a thing, I think, is a big part of being okay in life. You know, not in the sense, not in like a melancholy sense, but in like the beautiful release that change and grief are.
Craig, that is resonating with me because when you shift identities, maybe it's student to professional, which a lot of people are doing when they graduate, they do have to grieve the loss of
Yeah.
that identity. I was a student
Yes.
my whole life.
Yep.
Now, who am I? Who
Where'd
am
all
I?
my friends go?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And that is hard. So let's just normalize that piece of it and say it's kind of like a life quake. Everything is shaken up. You're standing
yeah.
on a Bosu ball. You can't get your balance.
Yeah.
And there's a messy middle. And we
Yeah.
can't rush that.
Yeah.
That was your period of burnout.
Yeah.
And then you get to the other side and a new beginning starts. And I love that you hit on your nervous system and just calming that down.
Sure,
Because
sure.
with my students, we talk about breath practice a lot and just slowing down your breathing. Your heart rate slows, your pulse slows,
Yep.
and your body does realize it's not in danger.
Yes. Well, it's funny. If you're like me, you like, when I was younger, I hated eating my vegetables. I hated exercising. I hated doing things that made me feel like a fuddy-duddy, you know, stuck in the mud adult. Right? I hated that. I was like, I don't want to grow up because it looks like grown-ups do horrible, horrible things to the world. I don't want to be that person. I don't want to like hold my briefcase and go to the gym in the morning. And going to the gym in the morning is kind of awesome if you can do it. But I didn't want to do those things. And so I would advocate, if you're like that, you reframe your narrative, right?
Yeah.
Breath work is not a chore. It's like connecting with yourself. It's like a beautiful release. So I think if you're like that, if you're like me, like find out how to do something artistically, and then maybe it doesn't feel like such a task.
Ooh, reframe the narrative. You went from being an engineer, you graduated, you did that cubicle job.
I did.
And that was not for you. And
Correct.
I think sometimes people need a permission slip to say, it's okay to follow my heart.
It is okay. It is okay to follow your heart. Sometimes it's harder, though. Like, there is a lot to be said for moving practically through the world. Sometimes I wish, because I had to take that job because I didn't take the higher paying, smoother sailing engineering job I was offered in school. Right? I left school, I said, I'm going to do something else. I want to do something else. And I developed connections, and I was exploring, and I was like, you know, putting resumes out there, and then COVID happened. And then all of a sudden, all of my little opportunities dissipated. And I was like, I better use this degree. And I had to take the same job for significantly less money. And in a significantly worse work environment. And so that was hard. But ultimately, it did force me to follow my dreams, and that led me here. And I don't regret that.
And so how did you go from being an engineer to working in this people atmosphere where you're having this human impact and building community? What shifted? It seems like your major wouldn't be engineering. It would be something in the humanities.
Yeah. Yes. I like that I have an engineering degree. My career moving in this direction, I think, is a combination of having good people that I'm connected to and, like, practicing those passions in my life all the time, right? So, like, someone reached out, a mentor at State reached out and said, hey, I have this startup. Do you want to try this? Right at the time that I was leaving my job. So that was kind of like stars align. But also, like, I actively participated already in the skills needed to do that job. And I did that all of my own volition. So, you know, I think with everything, people always say, like, it's a combination of timing and, like, being ready for the timing, which is a choice that you make.
What a story. Time machine. Oh my goodness, it just pulled up here to Hunt Library. And guess what, Craig? It is you 10 years in the future.
From now?
Yes.
Okay.
So, wow, this time machine, the door opened up. You step out from the year 2036. And you said, Craig of today in 2026, I have got some insight for you. I've got something to tell you that you need to hear.
Wow.
What is the future you about to say?
you will not regret being at ease. I feel like that's the lesson I'm learning now. So I hope that my 10-year later self gets to come back and say, like, all those decisions that you made to, like, feel okay with your life and to feel okay with yourself, to be where you are, right? That's what this, like, knee injury is teaching me. Be where you are. You will not regret doing that. I hope that's what I say.
You will not regret it. You are where you should be right now.
Yeah.
I love that. Well, pack friends, go pack.
Go pack.